Hi everyone, welcome back to Black and Ritual. I hope you are doing well and are healthy and are taking care of yourselves. I'm here today with a video about astral projection, astral travel, whatever you want to call it. It's called astral projection. And I want to talk to you all about it because several of you has been asking me about astral projection and how do I do it, right? And we will be doing this, okay? We will be doing this together, astral projection. Many of you who will continue on with me through this journey. So, a few things I want to talk about. First and foremost, what is astral projection? Astral projection essentially is astrally traveling, where you're working with the planetary energies in your birth chart to pull in energies that are currently circulating in a planetary astrological world cosmos during that time to manifest what it is that you need in your life. So it's a higher form of manifestation, a higher form of essentially spiritual practicing and developing your spiritual gifts. So for those of you who've been following me since last year, where I taught you all about spiritual gifts and clairaudience and clairsentience and things like that, this is where you can actually practice those spiritual gifts, especially if you're clairaudient and clairvoyant. Okay, you can really practice those spiritual gifts with astral projection. One thing I really do love about astral projection is that it's like the foundation of any form of spiritual practices that you decide you want to go into. So what I mean by that is the foundation of understanding the planetary energies is essential with any form of spiritual practices, especially if you're doing like, even alchemy, which is not even a spiritual practice, but I think you get the gist of what I'm saying. But anyway, so the main thing, I have a couple tips for all of you that want to learn about astral projection, is to make sure you know your birth chart. Okay, that's the whole point, the foundation, and the reason why you're even doing this. Okay, so knowing your birth chart is essential because you can pull you can learn the energies that's in your birth chart and pull those energies as a form of manifestation for whatever planet that you're working with. So for example, so if you have let's just say if you have Mercury in the third house of, with Scorpio, right? Or you have Scorpio in the third house with Mercury. Okay, your Mercury is in the third house with Scorpio. And what that means is, especially if you got that placement, like you're going to experience a lot of death and transformations and reforming the way how you communicate. Okay, because Mercury is a planet that works with the way you communicate. Okay, it rules the sign of Gemini in the third house. Okay, so that's the basic foundation of just when you're working with astral projection. I will be teaching you all more about this later on as we continue on, but I just want to lay the foundation. So another thing I want you to understand is the planetary energies. Okay, so when you understand the planetary energies, what I mean by that, Mercury was a perfect example, okay, about communication. Jupiter, which I know everyone wants to know, well, how can I make it work when we're in the middle of a pandemic and I need some money? How can I ask the divine or work with the cosmos, the universe, the divine, and actually get something flowing for myself financially? Jupiter is your planet of finances. And when you understand Jupiter and where it's placed in your own birth chart, your natal chart, you can learn how to work with the planetary energy of Jupiter, and how it's astrally moving, the current placement, the time that you're working with the energy, and pull in those energies that you already that is already owed to you, essentially, by the universe and the divine. It's a higher form of working with the universe. Okay, so another thing I want everyone to understand is to be ready to actually reverence the spirit of the universe and these planets. What I mean by this is you want to respect these planets the same way that you respect your ancestors. So when you're coming to your ancestors, and when you come into the divine, and when you come into the universe, you're coming to these energies as, you know, a lord, which, you know, that's the foundation of who you are. So it is, you know, it's the lord of who you are. So you want to come with a form of respect, meaning you need a routine. You need to be able to spiritually cleanse your space, your mind, and be focused on the energy that you're pulling in. Because those energies pick up what it is that you're putting out. Like I say, it's the highest form of manifestation that I've ever worked with. Okay. As a, yeah. Anyway, so, yes. Another thing is when you reverence the spirit, or you reverence these energies, not the spirit, when you reverence the energy of the cosmos and these planets, is it can be draining. You know, it can be very draining. And what I mean by that is you don't sleep. You essentially go through a lucid dreaming state throughout that night. And depending on whichever planetary energy that you're dealing with, you know, sometimes it can last another night if you're working with that energy very heavily. So you have to be ready to reverence the spirit, the energy, the force that comes with these planets. You know, this is the universe. You know, people's been studying the planets. You know, astronauts been studying the planets. So it is a force. It is an energy. You know, so which means that I have to talk to you all even about like how energy is never created nor destroyed. It's essentially transferred. And I talked to you all about that, the universal laws. So if you remember the universal laws and you took note when I was posting it last year, then you know what I'm talking about. If not, I'm always going to do a refresher before we dive into astral projection, something that is very deep and very heavy. Okay. In regards to spiritual cleansing, so I'm going to also teach you all about spiritual cleansing. I'm going to essentially teach you what I know, okay? And that's why I want you to like, share, subscribe, you know, to this YouTube channel, okay? Another thing, which is very big with working with me, huge. If you have any mental health illnesses, conditions, I do not cure, diagnose any mental health or health conditions. Please consult with your healthcare provider, your mental health professional, or a therapist in regards to these current problems, okay? And I don't want to say it like it's a problem, but I want you to know that I don't diagnose or assist with any of that. And the reason why I'm bringing this up in astral projection is because, you know, the forces are very strong, and I don't want it to be a trigger if you've already is experiencing a lot of mental health trauma. You know, yes, you may need some, you know, finances, or you want to learn how to develop your spiritual gifts and things like that. But if you have not dealt with that internal stuff and you're not in the right mindset for this type of work, this is not for you. And I don't ever want to hinder anyone by just being a guide, okay? Because I'm just a guide here, okay? A spiritual guide for you. Lastly is understanding that when you do astrally travel, it's a faster manifestation than doing sometimes even candle work. Okay, what I mean by that is for all of you that have booked candle work with me, I've ordered for me to do some type of candle work for you. That's the foundation, you know, and that's what I'll be teaching you all in regards to how to actually work with those candles and work with the energies and using candle magic or whatever you want to call it, okay? Yeah, so I think that's it. I think that's all that I got for you. And you know, I will keep posting and keep you all updated. Stay tuned. And I love you all. Bye.